Hey, this is Kat from Red Mountain Shaman, and I share shamanic wisdom through dreams, visions, nature, synchronicities, intuition, channeling, art, music, photography, and shamanic journeys. Welcome back to my channel. So I'm feeling a little under the weather today, and I was planning on making a shorter video, but no, too many things are coming through, so I'm just going to muddle through it. So please be patient with me and my voice today. So I want to talk about some personal experiences, something that Yeshua mentioned in one of the last channelings about the builder races that I looked up. I wanted to share another message channeled from Yeshua today, a song, a poem, and then at the very end I'm going to read two short oracle cards that are pretty perfect for what came through this week. And I asked Yeshua's energy to pull those. So stay till the end. That's the last thing I will be reading. So first I'm going to start off with a dream that I had. And in this dream, it was pretty short and simple. I was just in some sort of a store of some sort. And you know, like when you're in a deli and it's really busy, some places will have you pull a ticket out of a kind of a ticket taker thing. So for some reason, several people got the ticket with the number 7 on it. And they were called out that all the people with the number 7 needed to go to the front of the line. So I thought that was really interesting. So when I woke up, I looked up the meaning of number 7 because it's one of my favorite numbers. And the picture on today's cover is a photo of me and my husband on my last birthday on November 13th. And it was 77 degrees that day in November, which was kind of crazy. So yeah, in this dream, I was just wondering, why were all the people with the number 7 able to go to the front of the line or asked to come forward first? And I looked up the number 7, and it's often the number of the mystic or the healer. And it has a lot of beautiful meanings, but it's one of my favorite numbers. It's also the number that I chose for my wedding anniversary date. So I asked Yeshua about this dream, and he'll be talking about that in today's channeling. So the next thing that happened was I go to the springs about once a week, and this time it was the night before the full moon. And so since I was in the water, and water is such a great conductor of energy, I did my intentions in the water that day. And I kind of came out from behind this tree, and all of a sudden the moon, it looked like a full moon. I assumed it was, and it was rising from behind these beautiful snow-covered mountains. And these Asian people were visiting, and I said, "Is it the full moon?" And they said, "I think so, but can you ask for anything more beautiful?" And I said, "No, this is like amazing." And when I saw the moon, I just felt this energy, and it was just this magical night. And I said intentions, and I was speaking with the water, asking the water when it was released back to the earth to do some cleansing and clearing. I know this week I've been feeling some things rising up too in my own self, more holiday shenanigans that are going on that I have to let go of and surrender to spirit and just allow things to kind of unfold as they are meant to, rather than trying to force my own will into the situation. So that's been kind of a challenge this week. So anyway, I also was there, and this mother was going by with her baby, and the baby we locked eyes, and as she was moving by, this baby just stared at me the entire time. It was almost like we were communicating through the eyes, or the baby could feel something. And I just felt like, wow, that's really interesting, because I also just had a client this week that had a vision that she went back to being a baby, and almost like she was meditating, and she was like a little baby held in the womb of creation or in the void. So I wanted to ask Yeshua about that too, if there's anything with that. Another thing I noticed kind of in the news is that Gene Simmons, the singer of Kiss, got the Kennedy Award this week from President Trump. And he is putting forth a bill for the future of musicians, because I guess both of his kids are artists. And I just wanted to play this clip for you real quick.
So This is a bipartisan bill that will get passed because the president is very pro-artists. America invented the music of the world in the first place. Rock and roll, blues, jazz, most of it from black music, of course, and country and western. Hip-hop was invented right here, and we're letting our artists, the voices of America, American culture, get by working hard on their craft and not getting paid.
Okay, so as a musician, I can tell you that this is true. We don't have anything to do with the mainstream. We've chosen not to sign with labels, so we're completely sovereign and independent musicians. We make most of our money from Bandcamp. So, but still, I mean, we used to get even more money from like Spotify and other platforms. So these platforms are raking in billions of dollars. The radio stations, he talks about raking in billions of dollars. And the artists really can't make a living. Like even some big artists I've seen complaining about the structure of the music industry just being in chaos. So I think he's trying to pass a bill. I think it's called something like the American Music Fairness Bill or something along those lines. So I channeled the singer of Nirvana, Kurt Cobain, last summer, and he was talking about that the music industry would be changing in his channeled message as well. So we're starting to slowly see some people, big names, coming up and wanting change in the music industry. So this is exciting. I beg to differ with him that music was created in America because there's beautiful ancient music from all over the world, which I'm incredibly inspired by. So, but other than that, I think he's at least trying to shift things in a new direction. So I wanted to ask Yeshua about, is this true about the music industry, and will artists be able to start making a living at it more, or being more compensated or recognized? I just wanted to see if he had anything to say about this. So I think this has to do with even people beyond musicians, like writers, like Gene Simmons was mentioning, like, what if you wrote a novel and you spent like 1,000 hours on it, and then like music, everybody just got it for free. It's like it kind of like lowers the incentive that nobody's getting compensated for honing their craft and putting their work out there. And so it's kind of like putting a damper on creativity, in my opinion. So the next thing that I saw was Arcana Shores. If you guys watch her, she's a tarot reader. Somebody brought up the question and mentioned me in that video this week. And she was mentioning that Trump is an aspect of an archangel, and that's something that I said. And so the question was, can you ask about Red Mountain Shamans? Channeled message that Trump is an aspect of Uriel. And so I loved her answer, and it really resonated with me. This is what she said. I'll play the clip.
Channel Red Mountain Shaman also heard that Trump is an archangel, which, yes, he is. My last show, if you missed it, I think you watched it because that's where your comment was. He definitely is an archangel. Is he an aspect of Uriel? Okay, so I was feeling Raziel. He's an aspect of Raziel. But Uriel, let's take a look into it. Is Donald J. Trump an aspect of Uriel, archangel? We all assist. He is a part of us. He is one of us. He needs all of our gifts and abilities in order to help the children. That makes sense. So they all help him. They all help him help the children, save the children. So that's beautiful.
So take that or leave it. If you still hate Trump and you're not liking him, I really recommend maybe opening up yourself to some new perspectives. There's some people that do some really deep research, and I recommend Mel K, Prometheus Updates, Victor Hansen Davis, and sometimes Redacted is good too. And I noticed that channel, they're really branching out into more spiritual topics too. They're really kind of opening their own minds, I feel like, on that channel. And those guys, they're unredacted, they're married, and they actually left mainstream media to kind of create their own. I mean, some people might say they're controlled opposition. I don't know, maybe they are, but I really feel like they're exposing some really cool stuff. Like, for example, they talked about kind of dental work and how the whole dental industry is kind of like making people's teeth worse in a lot of ways, and they have a holistic dentist on there. So stuff like that. Sometimes they're talking about extraterrestrials. So it's kind of blossomed beyond news. So some cool stuff is their consciousness is really starting to expand. So, and as far as the children, Kristen Lee of Arcana Shores, she mentions that that's why he's an aspect of these archangels. And Archangel Uriel, I looked it up, and he's actually represents his gift as like the power of God. So it does kind of seem like he's just forging through. Kristen also believes there's more than one Trump, and I've kind of got that too. I think there's at least 3. I don't usually talk about that kind of stuff because there's no way to kind of prove it, but it's just what I got, so take it or leave it. I also believe that President Trump is probably going to end up doing more than any other president to end the transporting of humans. So we'll see how that works. I think he already has done more, actually. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to talk about was Yeshua mentioned at the end of a channeling, I think it was last week or the week before, that he was like the overseer of the ancient builder races. So I didn't know what that really meant, and I was kind of curious. So the first thing I did was go to the Ascension Glossary on the internet. Somebody has channeled like a bunch of information and created an Ascension Glossary, which I think is really helpful. I asked Yeshua like how much of the information on there is true, and I got like around 90% of it is pretty accurate. So in the Ascension Glossary, it says, the ancient builder races are synonymous with the Christos founder races, also called the guardian host or ancient master builders or architects, who originate from the god worlds. They are the original guardians and architects responsible for creating the matter realm and protecting the law of one, the path to spiritual enlightenment and ascension. Who are they? The ancient builder races are not a single entity, but a collective of highly advanced multidimensional beings, including specific founding lineage. Number 1, the solar dragon Christo races. These are the primary ancient builder races who entered the time matrix from the god worlds to form the physical reality of this universe. Remnants of their dragon body parts are said to be intertwined with the planetary landscapes in the form of specific geographic features, energetic lines or dragon lines, and nodes. And also in someone's session this week, I kept hearing node point or nodes, and this person was kind of thinking about traveling to Hawaii, which is like the remnants of Lemuria. And it's interesting that today, a volcano erupted today in Hawaii, and I think there was also a big earthquake in Alaska. So it's like these dragon lines are awakening and moving and shifting, and just like our bodies are. And so then the next one, it says Lyrian Syrian founders. This group includes the Elohim, Emerald Order, or the Gold Order Rock Confederacy, and the Amethyst Order. They are the original founders and architects who supervise the seeding of life and the protection of the Law of One. And if you haven't read the Law of One, I recommend that. This one really resonates with me pretty deeply because I've always felt like I've gotten messages from the Elohim. I've felt very connected to them and the Lyrans. And I also was shown a vision where I needed the emerald tablets in my backpack for my journey here. So that one really resonates with me. The next one is the Oraphim and Azurites. These are specific Christos races, or the double diamond sun body from Sirius B, who serve as blue flame holders and work to repair the planetary grid architecture. They were tasked with creating the Maharaji lineage, which acts as the guardian gatekeepers for indigo lines. And then the next one is the Palladorians. These are advanced Christic races from the God worlds who, after the fall of Tara, made an agreement, the Emerald Covenant, to help Earth and humanity by installing technologies like the Ark of the Covenant stargates to perform genetic rehabilitation. And then it says their role in technology as ancient builder races are described as the supreme grand architects who possess incredibly advanced ancient builder technology, which is rooted in complex mathematics, quantum physics, and consciousness knowledge. They are the guardians of creation. They guard the matter realm, and are dedicated to ensuring all species can fulfill their genetic plan of spiritual enlightenment and multidimensional heritage. Holographic architecture. They used ancient builder blueprints to project holographic realities and build complex physical architecture, such as the original Great Pyramid of Giza, which served as a harmonic resonance device within the planetary grid network. And I believe those are coming back online. They're lighting up again with their original energies. And then it says genetic library protectors. They hold the original genetic library and source code design for Christos forms, protecting it from damage by AI and non-human entities, including the Anunnaki. So when I had a quantum healing hypnosis session, like just as I was kind of awakening, this was quite a while ago, I saw myself building something, like literally building with these big stones. And there wasn't a lot of people around, but I just have always wondered, what did that vision mean in that hypnosis session? So I feel like it's starting to unfold now, as Yeshua is starting to talk about these ancient builder races. And it's interesting that Trump is a builder, like literally a builder. And then he mentioned that Charlie Kirk is a builder. I thought that was really interesting. And a lot of people thought, oh, that's a Freemason thing. Charlie Kirk is a Freemason. But the Freemasons really hijack everything. And so I don't know. I think that perhaps he's even in witness protection. He might still even be around. I don't know, but I think that he's a builder, like in the positive light. So take all that or leave it. I know that's kind of really deep stuff, but I asked Yeshua about it, and he kind of explains it in a more simple way. That's kind of how my channelings come through, so like everybody could understand it. So the next thing that I came across was this post on Facebook. It was just today that I saw this. And it's talking about 1776 being the year that everything changed or was hijacked. And it's interesting because I remember, I think it was last year, I got a message about July 4th being like a really special day of liberation. And I think that message, it was before last year's July 4th, but I think they were talking about this year. So sometimes I'll get messages and I will get like kind of a date or a month, but I don't know the year. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of unfolds this coming 4th of July and see if that might be the year that they were talking about. So I also noticed that 2026 is the 250th anniversary of 1776 Independence Day, and you can look up more about that. And so I wanted to read this post about 1776, the year that everything changed. So this is by somebody named Derry Kailani. So I'm going to give that person credit. So it says, we have been told that 1776 was the birth of freedom, but in reality, it was the death of a civilization. The year the world was hijacked, marking the ascent of the hidden hand, or, the secret societies. In 1776, the Illuminati was founded in Bavaria. The Rothschild banking empire began its global expansion. The American Revolution broke out. Tartaria began to disappear from maps. All in the same year. Coincidence? Tartaria was not a myth. It was a vast ancient civilization with advanced free energy technology, great architecture using sacred geometry, a harmonious way of living in accordance with natural law, knowledge of the ether, It was all erased from history books. They buried Tartaria literally with mud floods, natural disasters, and a new history. Then came the World's Fairs, showcasing huge temporary buildings that they claimed to have built in 2 years. Once the old world was buried, they created the new: central banks, debt slavery, maritime law, artificial scarcity, indoctrination through education, and all of this is financed by the same families. The Rothschilds not only financed empires, they financed restarts and erased everything that they did not serve to control the system. Tartaria was too free, too advanced, too powerful. So they reversed it all. Free energy became fossil fuel. The truth became a conspiracy. The spirit became a religion. Nature became a resource. Freedom became an illusion. 1776 wasn't the beginning, it was the cover-up. We are the generation that rediscovers what they tried to erase. Tartaria was real, the ether was real, and the truth is no longer hidden. So while I was reading that, I was just getting that the person that wrote this is a starseed. So this person kind of knows what's going on. So I loved that. So without further ado, I'm going to read what Yeshua had to say about all of this. So this is what I heard when I typed out his message. Enjoy. Standing on the threshold between worlds. Message from Yeshua, December 7th, 2025. My gracious family of light, we are on the threshold of something momentous. I use this word often because it is indeed a momentous occasion. You are in transition from the darkness of forgetting and into the light of remembering. Remembering who you truly are as a child of the Most High. As we return to our innocent state of oneness, this is what was truly meant when I taught that we can become like a little child. This is also why it is so important to continue to fight for the innocent ones who may not have yet a voice in the world. But if they are given the opportunity to be loved, cared for, and freely express themselves, they will show you their wisdom. The little ones who have not yet been traumatized and abused and are allowed to freely share their thoughts without being shut down will often speak the truth and the wonders of the universe. This is where we get the expression out of the mouth of babes. It is because of their wisdom, the innate wisdom that they carry. As you begin to regain your memories and childlike wonder and surrender to spirit, you too shall find your inner wisdom. It is when we become open to Spirit's whisperings and our hearts are cracked open to love that we begin to perceive things of a higher nature, things that can tend to be difficult to perceive in the natural by those who have not yet surrendered to their inner knowing beyond the 5 senses. I welcome you to heal and honor your inner child and find your truth through the return to innocence. I also wish to speak again of the coming Renaissance. There will be a time of expanded creativity, as the energy and shifts that are coming will support it. Why has the music industry fallen into chaos? It is because music is one of the most powerful ways of alchemizing energy. It can be used for positive or negative purposes. The negative forces who wish to keep humanity in a state of forgetfulness have taken over not all, but much of what is heard over the airwaves. They also work in the vibration of greed so that artists are not compensated. Those who create music that might lean in a spiritual or enlightening way are often never given the chance to be heard. The music on your airwaves are often hand-selected by hidden powers with hidden agendas. But this will be changing as the Great Spirit wills it. It is time for you to expand as creator beings, not just within the music realms, but within all manner of creative outlets. We must rebuild what has been lost and start anew. We wish to give a clean slate. Watch as the opportunities begin to open up to you. It is no longer necessary to claw your way to the top or to be heard and seen, for the time is coming that more and more of you will feel an inner calling, and the desire to create will fill your souls. We need to fill the world with laughter, joy, beauty, and true expression of the soul. Soon the shackles will be released, and the resources and support will surface. Be not dissuaded by the way things look at the moment. There are beautiful hardwood floors under that old, dirty carpet. We are about to pull back the rug and not only expose those beautiful floors, but also expose those who put the rug over them in the first place. You are birthing a remembering of your true beauty, and you will begin to shine once again as the veil is being lifted. Do not sink into despair. It takes time to restore something to its former glory. A new epoch is beginning. 1776 was indeed a fall of sorts. The hidden hand has managed to put its thumb of control and corruption into just about every pie. It's time to pull back the curtain on their schemes and restore the nation to true independence. This is why we speak of the 4th of July as being a special day. In 2026, we begin to see true liberation as the fire horse of freedom rears its beautiful head, heralding a time of rebirth and restoration. This is not to say that there will not be anger and revolt as the truth continues to come forth, but hold steady, and you will withstand the winds of change should you let go of the old egoic ways and embrace the new waves of consciousness. The solar waves continue to blast Earth with higher frequencies and codes of light that unlock your gifts of the Spirit. The last shall be first, and the first shall be last. Those who carry the 7 represent those who move forward in order to accomplish their missions as volunteers. Your power and healing is swiftly returning. Remember to use it wisely and for the good of the new earth as you rebuild and restore. For the ancient builder races have returned, and they shall rise in order to show the way to truth and beauty. They will be honoring their long-held gifts as they step forward in service to others. They come in all kinds of avatars of light and express themselves in many different ways. For, as I have said, there is so much to do. There is so much to build. There is so much to create, so much to restore, and so much to enjoy as the fruits of your labors will manifest in perfect divine order. Trust, breathe, be still, receive my words, for I speak of a bounty of abundance in all things. I speak of joy, I speak of creation. You are creator beings. From creation you came, and to creation you return. So be it. I am Yeshua, foreman of the ancient builder races. Watch us rise, watch us restore, watch us create. We show the way, for all beings can do greater things than I, greater things than us. You have the power of all possibilities within you. Thank you, Yeshua, and I really apologize for my voice today and my dry mouth. I'm just not feeling good. I'm fighting a cold, so please forgive me. So one thing that came to my mind as I was reading this again was he's talking about joy. I speak of joy. I speak of creation. You are creator beings. And in one of my sessions this week, I always, before I go into a journey with the client, I will see a symbol spinning on the door before I open the door to the journey and call in the guides to get information for their questions. And this week, I've never seen this before. I just saw like a child laughing, and I just heard like joy is coming. So that was really interesting. And it almost also felt like a collective energy also. So I wanted to share that with you guys. So, and then he also talks about being on the threshold between the worlds. And I'm going to read my son's poem again because I just think he's so gifted, and his poems are just so inspiring. So his poem is actually called The Threshold, and it goes right along with this message. And I've also been hearing other channelers talk about this word. This word came up several times this week in other channels that I watch, the threshold. And I also wrote a song, one of our early songs, and it's called The Threshold as well. So lots of threshold energy. And what is a threshold? It's like the space in a doorway between one room and another, or between, the outside and then going inside, or it's just the space in between. And it does feel like we're kind of in between worlds. We're in a transitionary time right now. So here's his poem. The Threshold. There is so much more than what we see. Even our sorrow forgets this. Depression narrows the corridors of the mind until life feels no wider than the concrete halls we pace through every day. Yet, above us, the universe keeps unfolding, a cathedral of uncharted dark arches of starlight rising higher than any grief could reach. We hang our heads beneath vaulted ceilings of wonder and never look up. We miss the details, the ivy gripping the gargoyle's wing, rain pooling in the cracks of ancient steps, a single raven perched on a spire, tilting its head as if listening for something we once knew. There is beauty in these overlooked corners, but we rarely see it, our thoughts pressed low, our vision clouded over by the weight of being human. And still, the vastness remains. It does not demand belief. It does not bend our suffering. Like the tree that doesn't care what the little bird sings, the cosmos continues, untouched by our limitations, and generous with its reminder that life is larger than any despair that tries to shrink it. We are only a pinprick of existence in an ocean of time, yet somehow that makes our days more precious, not less. If the universe does not set our boundaries, why do we obey the ones we imagine for ourselves? There is so much left unexplored in the world, in the heavens, in us. And when we finally look up, even through the low clouds of our sadness, we're reminded our smallness is not a curse, but a threshold inviting us to cross it. So, I love that. Thanks for letting me share that, Eli. And then if you'd like to hear my song, Threshold, I'll put it in a link in the description box. And basically that song is about being on the threshold. I was going through a divorce, and I was on the threshold of getting remarried to a new partner who I'm still with to this day, many years later. And we received a lot of judgments during that time, I remember. And the song is just about like kind of being on the threshold between those two worlds and what it was like in that transitionary stage. And I feel like a lot of people are going through this right now. Like I know a lot of my clients are heading out of old relationships, and I do believe that there is a new energy coming to support relationships that are more in alignment with our new consciousness. So I would, as I did, listen to your own voice. I prayed a lot during that time, and I knew that what I was doing was right, despite all the judgment I got from other people. So I hope you guys enjoy that song. And then I wanted to read these two cards. Usually I just read one card, but two flew out today. And I felt they were both very similar, and so I'm going to read both of them to you. Sorry about my papers here. There's a lot of notes here. Okay, so the first one is, these are from the Kali deck by Alana Fairchild, and it's the mini deck, and my kitten's coming in to say hi. So before I read these two quick cards, I just wanted to remind you, if you would like to book a session with me, please go to redmountainshaman.com, and you can get directions on how to easily book a session with me. If you're out of the country, I do use WhatsApp, and I'm not very good at checking that all the time, so please be patient. I will try to be better at checking my WhatsApp messages rather than just my texts. So, and if you'd like to send a donation for my work here, if you appreciate what I do, please just go to the bottom of my contact page, and there's a PayPal link there. And the contact page is also where you learn how to book the session. So, this card is called Trauma Nagmo, and it says, the spiritual cleansing and protective means necessary to overcome any obstacle shall be granted to you. You can trust in what's happening in your life, especially the things that are breaking apart or arising anew. Any pain that you might be experiencing now is so much less than the pain that would have taken root if certain circumstances were allowed to continue. So again, we're witnessing the breakdown of these old structures and systems that are not serving us, as well as, some of us relationships as well. And anything that's just kind of no longer aligning. So just be in surrender and let the stuff go that's no longer resonating with you. The second card is Vishvamada. It says, although you may be in circumstances that you would prefer not to be in at this time, you are actually in a position of unrealized spiritual power. You will gain benefit from what is transpiring. When the relevant learning and personal growth have been acknowledged and integrated, these circumstances will give way to a more favorable situation. So we are in the final month of the year of the snake, and the snake to me represents shedding your old skin. So it could be an intense month in that way, where just stuff is rising to the surface that we need to let go of. I had some anger arise in me today, and I had a good cry about something that was angering me, a situation, a long situation that kind of rose up again, and I'm needing to forgive and let it go. So I get it. So I hope something in today's messages resonated with you. I really thank you guys for all the comments that you leave. It means a lot to me. Everybody is so supportive of each other in the comments and so positive, and there's a really great energy in the comments. So I really appreciate that. And I try to read them. I don't have time to respond to every single text or comment, but I really try as hard as I can to try to read and quickly acknowledge things. But I do have other things that I do in my life too. So don't take it personally if I don't, expound upon anything, but I do when I can. So I hope you guys have a good week, and press the like and subscribe button, press the notification bell, and we will reconvene next Sunday. I make my videos every Sunday. So I hope you guys take care, and I'm sending you all love.